Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for checking in. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. Today, if you look at my face, you can see it won't be a very happy topic that I'm going to address, but I feel led to talk about it because for me, when I'm sad and I'm really feeling sad about this case, is that I find talking very therapeutic. Some people who don't know me, they would see me and think that, oh, she's so quiet. But my true friends, my friends who really know me, know that when I start talking, I don't know how to stop. But it's a sad note. I saw this article, or I saw the news about this lady, this young lady who is missing in my own country. And for some reason, it brings back such bad memories. And I feel like I want to talk about it because it also addresses one of the reasons why I'm here, why I'm sitting right where I'm, well, maybe not right where I'm at, but in this country in particular. So there's this lady by the name of Donna Lee who is missing. I don't know anything about the case, so I will not address the case. I just want to extend sympathy towards the family. I pray that they will find closure. I pray that they will get justice for whatever happened to her. And my true desire is that they would find her alive and should be okay. But who knows? Like I said, I've been following this case and it has rehashed such bad memories and sad times in my life. And I just want to talk about it. Last night, they say like the last thing you look at or the last thing you watch or read, normally that's what you would think about while you're sleeping or something like that. So for some reason, it just kept flashing back in my mind. And I said, you know what? Talk about it. You might feel better. So I'm here. I might post it. I might not post it depending on how I feel. Okay, so for me, it brings back bad memory because in 2001, I got married. I got married in 2001 to my loving husband, yeah, the same one, my children's dad, yeah. And I got married on the 14th of April 2001. I won't go into the story of the marriage because that's not what really matters right now. So we went to the two places to celebrate our honeymoon. The last place that I went to, I got back the Sunday evening to my home. I was supposed to return to work the Monday. So this would have been the 22nd. So I got married on the 14th. This is the 22nd I'm talking about now. So just 1 week after my wedding. Just 1 week. I got back home. My hairdresser was my very dear friend. She lived maybe 2 miles away from, not even fully 2, maybe a mile and a half away from my home. So I went straight there. At that time, I was depending on taxi for transportation. So I went there, got my hair done because I was preparing for back to work the Monday. And I remember she finished my hair. For some reason, because it was late, she told me, she said, you know what, wear the rollers home and take them back to me the next whenever. So I had the rollers in my hair, and like I said, I wasn't going far. She walked me to the gate. We saw this red, well, let me not say taxi, this red car. It looked so similar to like a car that I knew. I'm not good at identifying cars up to this day, so sad. But it looked like a car I knew. The driver stopped. I remember I went in and I sat down. When I sat in the car, my heart leapt and I just didn't feel right. So after he drove off, he said, no, by the time I sat in, I realized that it wasn't the person I was expecting. But he had driven off by then. So he drove off and my heart leapt. And in my heart, I felt like something wasn't right. But then he didn't look around. I heard his voice and he like said, "My girl, where y'all go?" And when he asked that, my heart leapt again. The guy in the passenger side, so there were only two persons in the vehicle. The guy in the passenger side, he didn't look around or anything. I remember it was $20. So I took out the coin and I was flipping it through my fingers at the moment. And I said, I was there. And something just came in my heart. And in my heart, in my mind, I prayed and I said, "God, take me home safely." I wasn't going far. Like I said, it was just a mile down the road or a mile and a half down the road. It wasn't far. But the area that I was going through was kind of dark and maybe lonely. Not maybe, and lonely. So I just didn't feel right in myself. And I said, at the time I was 24 years old. That's why I think it rings such a bell with this case, because this person is 24 years old as well. I remember I said, "God, take me home safely," in my heart. And by the time it took another corner, and that corner was a bit darker than the rest of the street, the guy in the passenger side started making his way through the two seats, and he said, in my own language, he said, "Girl, make no noise and you're dead." Meaning, girl, make any noise and you're dead. Okay. I remember I screamed. And I know I reached for the door and I screamed. I didn't remember anything after that. So I remember when I was in the house and my husband was there explaining to my very dear friend who had come on the scene at the moment. After I was told all of this after. So what happened, I don't take credit for it, but it seems as if I pushed the door and I jumped out of the car. Immediately another vehicle was coming up the street, so this driver had to continue on his way. So this driver now was a driver in the community. He came up. They saw me in the street because I'd hit my head, so I was not very conscious. They saw me in the street. I heard, because I wasn't aware of what was happening, I heard that I was behaving hysterical. I was screaming, and in my subconsciousness I identified the voice of my friend, and I held on to him. That's what I understand, and I wouldn't let go. And so eventually someone brought me home and my husband was explaining, and that was when my memory came back, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I went up to do my hair, and yeah," and then everything came back and I remembered what happened. And after that day I was never the same. Sorry. I'm very sorry about that. I was never the same. While I thank God that I did not become statistics, while I thank God that I did not become statistics and I was not murdered, I was not raped, like, it's something that I just cannot forget. It's one of the worst experiences I've ever been through. It's one of the worst experiences I've ever been through. Just to know that I didn't hurt anyone, I didn't do anyone, and someone just saw me and thought, "Oh yeah, here's a target, we could take her." But thanks be to God, let me get back on the positive side. I'm here, I'm telling the story. Many persons don't get to tell their stories, and not all stories will go the same way. Sometimes it's persons who say they love you who try to do this to you, but I don't know, it's just so sad. So after that happened, I went to the police station to make a report, we went to the police station to make a report, and the police looked at me and he said, I can take a report, but there's nothing I can do about it. And I was like, did I hear you correctly? I mean, I understand in a sense what he was saying, but I would have preferred if he had said to me, I'll take a report and we'll try to do some investigations or something. The man said, I'll take a report, but there's nothing we can do about it. And it dawned on me, I was like, what kind of country am I living in? How can I live in a country where a policeman is going to tell me that I was almost kidnapped, I was almost, well, God knows what could have happened, and you're going to look at me and tell me there's nothing you can do about it? And that right there was what I call a push factor. I'll get into that. When I was going to high school, my social studies teacher taught me about brain drain. And when we spoke about it and we had discussions, I told myself, I was like, I'd never do that to my country. Those people are so mean. Why would they leave the country? Why would they leave and go develop someone else's country? But immediately when that happened, I told myself, girl, you have to leave this place. And then there were many other things that happened where I just knew that justice was not in this place. And after I started having kids, I was like, no, Right now, I feel so guilty because I love my country so much. Sometimes when I see the athletes run, and I can't even really celebrate the way I would want to celebrate because I feel like I sold out my country just leaving, because I love my country so much that I wanted to continue what I was doing with the development of our youth. But because of crime, I had to leave. Because I was living in fear. I would go in taxis. I would see men come in and I just step out and leave. Because guess what? I don't know. They could be innocent going about their business. But the minute I saw other people, I was like, oh my God, is he going to kill me? Is he going to kidnap me? I couldn't continue in this. I would be at home and I need to go to the supermarket, and before I even leave the house, I would be playing out in my head how I might get kidnapped, I might get killed. And I was like, I cannot continue in this. This is not life. Anyways, it was so devastating for my family. I think that was the first time I saw my dad get mad. I didn't live with him, so I don't know his temperament, but towards me, he was always so sweet and everything. But I saw my mother cried. Everyone was so sad. And can you imagine, my husband would have been widowed at that time, 1 week after getting married, for no reason at all, because I didn't know. Like I said, it's not like the voices rang in the bell or anything. I don't know these guys. I guess they were going about their business. I was careless enough to get in their car, because I won't blame them. They didn't pick me up off the street. I wanted a ride home and I got in the wrong vehicle. But I'm just saying, why is mankind like this? Why do we need to want to kill someone? If there is, just talk about it. Find other ways to solve our problems. Why? You can't give a life. Why do you want to take a life? The good thing, let me try to dry up these tears, because now I'm going to talk about the positive thing that came out of this situation. The good thing is that after I saw how I could have lost my life, that was it. Because I had always loved God. I knew He was real. I knew He had His hands in my life. But for some reason, I kept putting off giving my life to God completely, all over the years. But the good thing that came out of this was that I gave my life to God. And for that reason, I didn't listen to a sermon to get saved or anything, because all the sermons were already in my head. I knew that I needed to live a godly life. I knew that, like my grandmother instilled that in me, but I kept putting it off. So the good thing about it is that I gave my life to God. And because of the reason why I gave my life to God, like every day I get up and I'm like, I could never turn back. There's nothing that could make me turn back, because I remember that God saved me that night. He saved me, because I'm telling you, I was sitting there. I didn't open my mouth. I was just there flipping the coin through my finger. But in that moment, I said, God, take me home safely. And he answered my prayer. So I'm here. I have scars. If you look at my face, it's dark because it was rubbed on the street. But it's okay. I'm here. I'm breathing. I learned to accept them. I have a few scars on my arms and wherever I have on my legs. And like I said, every day I get up and I look in the mirror and I see the dark spots, or I see my scars on my legs, and I'm like, God, you love me. God, thank you. This was not to break anyone's spirit, but I just hope that if you're listening this and you ever think of killing someone's child, whether boy, girl, remember, it hurt, man. It hurt. I don't know this girl, Donna Lee, but me tell her, say, because she's 24, just the way I was 24 at the time. She's beautiful, and I know I was beautiful at the time too. And I'm like, man, that could have been you, and it been for God's grace. It could have been you. You could have been a part of the statistics. And I always cried. Like, every time I hear these stories, I cry over and over. I don't cry just for Christ's sake, but I cry to thank God that I'm here. And I cry because it makes me sad to know that people just hate people and want to see them gone for whatever reason. You don't think about the hurt that you're leaving on someone else. You don't think about the grief the family is going to go through. You don't think about the fact that the earth is big enough to maintain you and that person. I don't have to see each other again. You don't have to cross paths. Man, we need to stop it. And those people, the people in my home country, Jamaica, you're allowing people who love them country for run with. I don't need to stop. I need to stop it. I don't need to stop. Right now, I could be in Jamaica on vacation, and every time I think about these things, I'm afraid. I'm scared because I'm like, suppose me there. I mean, not that I'm saying that this country is perfect, but I'm telling you that the trauma I go through in my own country since I've been here, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it couldn't happen to me here. I'm just saying that because nothing has ever happened to me here, I'm not feeling the way I feel when I'm in my home country. I feel safe here. I don't know if I feel happy because I'm living with guilt because we left our comfort zone to come here. We left our comfort zone. This is the country that we love. Yeah, we left our comfort zone. And I mean, I could have stayed there and persevered, but nobody needs to live in a prison. You can't be living in your own country and you feel like you're in prison. You have to be thinking about being killed every day. Nobody should live like that. No one. It's not fair. It's not fair to the children who are there. It's not fair to anyone. And I must say hats off to all the people who decide that they are going to stay in their country. And honestly, I admire you for it. Sometimes I watch YouTube and I see these families back home and they are going through and they're making themselves happy. And I'm like, was I weak while I left? But no, I wasn't weak. He who feels it knows it. He who feels it knows it. I feel guilty. Yeah, I feel guilty about leaving because, you know, like I said, I have a conscience, and when I went to college, I learned that like the government pay a major part of our tuition and everything. And I was like, you know, I really don't want to rob my country. I don't want to. But this is why brain drain happens. This is why brain drain is taking place. And imagine what's going to happen when all the educated people leave the country. Well, not all, because like I said, some people will stay. But a lot of educated people are leaving the country, and that's not good for our country. It's not good. And if you're listening to this, and like I said before, if you ever think of killing someone, remember that there are persons who hurt when you do this. They hurt. It hurts. The Bible said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Yeah. Jesus said that the only way we can enter heaven is to love God and to love our neighbors as ourselves. The person passing you on the street is your neighbor. If they're your husband and your wife, why not kill each other? Why are we killing each other? Why are we killing our children? Sometimes I watch the news and I see babies, innocent babies being killed. And you know, this is because we don't know God. We don't know God and we're refusing to know Him. I don't know why. But we need to accept God in our lives and allow Him to fill us with love. You know how many persons have hurt me in my life and I would never think to kill them. Every time I pray, I say, God, give me love for them no matter what. Just give me love. I don't want to see them, anything bad happen to them. I just want you to protect them and keep them safe and allow them to have a good heart so that, yeah, let's be positive. Stop killing, man. And young girls, be careful. Be careful. Don't trust anybody. And listen to the parents. Listen to your parents. Listen to the adults in your life. We've been through things and we know already. So that is why we talk to you and that is why we encourage you to make good choices. Not that we made them, you know, but you see when we've gone through it already, we don't want to commit the same mistakes. And sometimes we have spiritual eyes. We can see beyond what you can see. It's important to listen. Listen and seek God. Seek God is the only way out. I know that we're in end times and things will happen, but it's still earth. It's still earth. And it's time for us to draw closer to God. Yes. Thank you for listening. I hope I'll never have to tell another sad story on this channel. I really hope so. I have other sad stories, but I won't talk about them. But this one is the one that hits home all the time. Like every time I think about it, I'm like, oh God, you're so blessed. You're here, Donette. You're here. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, if you're here and you feel like it, and if you feel like, share it, and if you feel like, subscribe, because I hope to continue with this channel on a more positive note. God bless you.